Hello again, Star Wars fans. Just a little follow-up to my last tutorial. I'm now at the end of reel 3 and things just got a little trickier. I just turn off these effects for a moment. You can see there's a lot of motion here. Usually there isn't at the reel changes. Usually there's not much motion at all, so it's really easy. But if I just zoom back out for a second, you can see not only is there a ton of motion going on here, but also a shot changes right in the middle of reel change markers. So this one's a little trickier than usual. You see I already took care of the first one, and I did that in the same way as the other one, but as you can see the layer underneath had to be moved all the way to the left because he's running to the right, and it didn't actually cover this part. You can see that part there, that right edge, is no longer being covered by the layer underneath completely. So I had to use a little cloning, and for the next frame it's even worse, because if we look at the layer underneath, you can see not only is it zoomed and rotated, it barely covers. We only have enough to replace just this little bit if we were to use the erase thing. So we're going to have to do some cloning, is basically what I'm saying. So let's zoom in. Whenever you're using any of these paint tools, by the way, make sure you come over here to the paint and you set single frame, because by default it's on constant, which means if I paint this out on this frame, there'll be a circle on every single frame in the entire film, or at least that entire layer, and you don't want that. You just want it for a single frame, so make sure you set that. Now we're going to have to do some cloning, which is the same as with painting, and exactly the same as in Photoshop, in fact. So we go right onto the layer, we select the clone tool, we press Alt to get where we're cloning from, and then we just clone away. It doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to be an extreme motion and it's only for 1/24th of a second. We just want to hide the reel change. So I'll just keep sampling from lots of different points. Should really make the brush smaller. And make it easier. Oops. Don't like that much. Zoom in even further. And again, you could do this in Photoshop if you prefer, but it's exactly the same tools working in exactly the same way, so you may as well just do it right here. looks a little ugly here. However, we're at 200%. 100%, it looks like that. But in motion it's going to look like that. So I don't think you're going to see it. So anyway, same sort of thing. And then this one, again, still in motion, but we'll be able to use our little substitution thing for this one. We will just take a couple of frames from there. I think we're moving right this time, my bad. Like that, probably. Change again right there. But for this one, we should be able to go back to erase and just erase. Colors are a little different, but it's still prettier than the real change box. And again, at full speed, now we've just got the one flash to fix. So freeze frame it, you'll still be able to see where they were, just barely, but at full speed you'll never know it was there. So sometimes they can be more difficult, but it's always more or less the same thing to fix it. It's just painting, cloning and deleting and revealing something underneath. So there you go, that's how it's done.